So we are here today talking to Dr. Vivian, all the way from South Africa. We're very, very excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Josh.
You have a vast experience in education, in speaking, in coaching. And I want to kind of talk about disciplines to destiny, because a lot of people have great destinies ahead of them.
Yep.
But because it's in the future, they don't prepare in the present.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to kind of talk about what disciplines you've undertaken in your life and how you can kind of protect yourself from the dangers of missing out what God has for you.
Mm.
So let's start off by kind of sharing a bit about yourself. You are a coach.
Yep.
You work with high-level executives. What else are you up to?
Well, besides being an author for many, many years.
Yeah, I know.
And doing mentoring programs,
Yeah.
business programs, running curriculums for international colleges and so on. That's basically what I do outside of the Christian world.
Yeah.
Meaning that there's still a world out there that needs the wisdom that we carry because we get it from the Bible.
Absolutely.
We get it from the Word of God. So when we look into the Word of God, God's given us everything that we need that pertains to life on the earth.
Mm.
And also, we need to remember that unless we go to the Creator,
Yeah.
who has the manual for our existence for the earth, we will always miss the mark.
Yeah.
So disciplines of destiny, simply put, is that anything you want to pursue, you have to have the discipline to pursue it with a passion.
Yeah.
And not half-heartedly.
Yeah.
Because whatever you're not willing to pursue, you don't possess.
Absolutely.
So you will only possess what you position for.
Yeah.
And whatever you position for, you have to prepare for.
Absolutely.
And preparations are one of the keys, because preparation shows the level of maturity within an individual.
Yeah.
Good. So we have to understand these are the things that I have done over the years to prepare me for a generation that is hungry for their future.
Do you think a lot of people can see their destiny?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think people even, majority of people, individuals on the earth, don't even know what destiny is about. They have no idea about their destiny. They have no idea what they were born to do. They don't focus on their calling or their strengths. Because within each of us is the ability to develop a skill.
Yeah.
You're not born with a skill.
Yeah.
You got to develop it. You're born with strengths.
Yeah.
And strengths need to be developed so that you can develop the skill to become an authority in the field. But even though you're an authority in certain fields, you still do not become an expert unless you action it in the lives of others. See, experts are not determined by self-study. Experts are determined by what they produce.
Yeah.
And unless somebody else validates you, you can't call yourself an expert.
Absolutely. Discipline leads to increased value.
Yep.
And we live in a world where people kind of don't understand their value, and as a result, they can't actually give value to people. Right? They can't add value to others. And so a lot of people are living hopelessly. A lot of people are living actually uselessly. They're not utilizing their skills and their talents, right? What's the number one habit you would say to someone under 30? What would you say to them in order to develop discipline?
The first thing is to remember that you have to take responsibility.
Yeah. That's a big word.
It's a big word because responsibility is what we teach our kids at a young age.
Yeah.
Take responsibility for brushing your teeth.
Come on.
Take responsibility for eating your food. Because if you refuse to take that responsibility, you're going to die.
Come on.
That's it. You'll starve to death. Or you'll live without purpose.
Yeah.
So take responsibility. If you don't take care of your teeth, you're going to lose them.
Yeah. Come on.
So we teach our kids the responsibility and importance of brushing. We teach them responsibility of eating your food, your vegetables, because it's nourishment to your body. Yet when it comes to our life on the earth, we become selfish because we are career-driven instead of people-driven.
Come on.
When you're people-driven, you don't become a doormat to the nonsense that's out there. You purposefully make decisions based on how greatly impactful are people within my environment. In other words, how impactful are they and how impactful I am. Because if I am impactful, then I am making a difference in the lives of those. If I make them aware that they have to be impactful, they will begin to prepare. Because you never walk into the room for what you can get out, but for what you can give. Making deposits is more important than making withdrawals. You can keep making deposits and the deposits will stay and earn interest in your bank account. But you can't keep making withdrawals without deposits.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's in every context.
In every context. Yeah.
Relationship, family, finance.
Absolutely.
That's with everything.
Yeah.
We're living in a world where people are just taking, right? They don't know what to do when it comes to adding. Look, I want to talk about the challenges to discipline and some of the impeding obstacles that come in the way. Social media, wrong relationships.
Yeah.
I would say would you say relationships is the number one distraction to people walking in the fullness of what God has for them?
100%.
Like the wrong relationship? What is a wrong relationship to you?
A wrong relationship to me is one that is driving me away from what I was called to do, or rather what I was designed to do.
Yeah.
You have a vehicle
that
takes fuel, gasoline, to run. It could have all the horsepower in the world, and you can brag about the horsepower, but until you fuel that vehicle, there is no acceleration. So in other words, there's no momentum. We talk so much about potential and we understand the value of understanding potential, but where are the keys to turn the potential into momentum? People are so big on potential that they've forgotten on teaching the generation that we're living with today on how to adapt to what's going on around you and then create an avenue where momentum will be at the speed that is required in order to make a difference. And what we're doing is we're always stuck in traffic.
Yeah, come on.
We have the acceleration, we have the horsepower of the engine, we have the fuel, but now we're on the wrong road because we're stuck. And what happens when you're stuck? You're delayed. You're delayed from arriving in your destiny. You're delayed from becoming impactful in the lives of those who are waiting for you to arrive. And as a result, we become distracted by all the things around us. Distraction are one of the things that we need to understand, that your life is not destroyed until you're first distracted. Your destiny does not hit a place of stagnation until you are distracted. Distraction is one of the major keys. You can talk about social media distraction. You can talk about watching videos on TikTok, and I mean the name alone, TikTok. It's time. Time is ticking.
Wow.
And you're spending more time watching
That's a good one.
everybody else getting ahead in life and making money. And you're helping them make money by watching their videos.
Correct.
Instead of thinking, what would be the strategy for me to make a video?
Correct. Come on.
And that's where the difference is. So we have a generation that is highly entertained by watching others make money, but yet they would not take a moment and say, how can I do it for myself?
And with you saying highly entertained, there's also a flow on to that in terms of instant gratification. People are getting that dopamine hit. People are constantly getting the next big thrill.
That's right.
Living thrill to thrill, never actually developing a grit to combat the current environment. And I think what you're saying about distraction, I think the enemy can. What I'm learning about how the enemy prowls and he works and he strategizes, he doesn't have to keep you from realizing your destiny. But as long as he can keep you distracted, you never fulfill the God-given assignments for your life.
Absolutely.
Like somebody can know that they're called for that, but as long as they're distracted, they're not actually going to walk towards what God has for them.
Very true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're living in a time where we've got people that are hungry for God, that have a spiritual appetite, and they want to grow in their destiny. Other than having a good, solid accountability What are some other things that you would say in this time and age they would need?
Let's look at the word accountability.
Yeah.
We could talk for hours. We could do seminars on accountability alone. I could literally speak for approximately 6 hours on accountability, nonstop. And I'm not just saying it because I've done it. I've spoken at length concerning accountability, responsibility. And the reason why these things swim in my mind, I've noticed how easy it is for people who refuse to take responsibility. Because those who do not take responsibility for their actions have no sense of accountability. And we're living in a time where there's an excuse upon excuse for everything that goes wrong. There are reasons why I am what I am. There's a reason why I've become this way. There's a reason why I don't care anymore. And yet we do not take a moment and say, you know what, I'm responsible for a lot more than this, and I need to start taking accountability. Because accountability is something that only appears on the playing fields of the mature. Mature people take accountability, take responsibility. They're accountable.
Absolutely.
And they take responsibility. So when you're in the playing fields of life, you got to look at which field are you focused on? What field are you focused on? Meaning that when you're dealing with people, remember you're dealing in this time with a vast bunch of people who have a certain mindset that social media is it.
Yeah.
You go after that and you will make a lot of money. You have another bunch of people that says, I want to go into the business world and I want to work business and invent something. You have others who want to do investments. So you have all these different kinds of things, and everything comes back to one common denominator. I want to make money because I want to be successful.
Yeah.
And so they have now gauged successes in such a dynamic that people are looking to become successful in order to become influential. So now you pull in the word influential and you say, okay, now we have influencers on social media. And what is it? It's about drawing a crowd.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to draw a crowd. It's about how many likes. It's about how many people are following me. And now you gauge your success based on that. In the meanwhile, you are being distracted from the very reason of your existence. Because why were you born is the big question.
And there are a lot of influences out there without substance.
Absolutely. No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like people just off their heads.
Yeah.
Talking about things that they have no experience.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't lived it, why are you talking about it?
Absolutely.
I mean? And ChatGPT and AI, in a world where technology has surpassed the human mind, like in terms of like speed of the way we think,
right?
People, if not, are going to become more fake.
Oh yeah.
And so how would you this is a really good question for you. How can you tell if someone's real or someone's fake?
Well, here's the situation. How can you tell the fake unless you have mastered the original?
Yeah.
You don't know a fake note.
Come on.
You don't know a fake banknote until you have mastered the original. So now we can talk about authenticity. Until you have mastered the qualities of an authentic person, you will never know when a fake or fraudulent relationship walks into your life.
Yeah, come on, that's a good one.
So until you have mastered the power of authenticity, you will never recognize the fraudulent relationships around you.
What would you say is the keys to be authentic?
Oh, very simple.
Yeah.
The first thing is learn how to observe people.
Yeah.
Observation is one of the greatest teachers of our time.
Yeah.
Learn to observe. When you learn to observe people, you will notice body languages that changes in different conversations.
Yeah.
Meaning that person is not stable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
An unstable person is never consistent. Watch the words that they speak.
Come on.
And then you'll begin to find that person is exposing themselves without knowing it. The reason why people get away with it, we don't have people that have the courage to stand up against these things. Because, courage is the willingness to stand up in the face of adversity for what is right.
Wow. And so you would say there's a lot of people that are courageous in our world today?
Oh, not a lot. I wouldn't say there's a lot.
Wow.
I would say that there's a lot of fake people that will just compromise and accepting things because they want to be accepted.
People submitting to a system that they don't even believe in themselves, but they have to, because that's what else would they do?
Yeah, because I'll lose friends if I stand up for what is right. I'll lose friends if I stand up for integrity. I'll lose friends if I stand up for authenticity. And then we have people that we call friends that will never hold you to your word. And that's the most dangerous relationship to have. You cannot have a relationship in your life where people are not willing to hold you accountable.
Come on, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You need to have people in your life that hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And people that can see through the facade and say, bring out the real you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
I think, it's important for young people to understand this, is that you were too valuable to have wrong people in your life.
Yeah.
You were too valuable.
That's a good one, man.
I have a couple of rules of engagement to get people into my circle, and I'm not saying it with pride because I have to protect what I carry. If you don't protect what you carry, anybody will walk in and destroy it.
Well, if you don't protect what you carry, it doesn't show that you value what you carry.
Exactly. So I have a set of things that I put to people that say, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to get into a relationship with you in the friendship circle. I'm talking about male friends in the pastoral level, in leadership level. And I say straight out to them, I say, you got to know what you're talking about. Because on the topic of relationships, I have read more, I have studied more than majority of pastors in my circle, because pastors are focused on people-pleasing rather than self-development, self-education.
Correct.
Meaning that, read more, study more.
Correct.
You never stop studying.
Yeah.
You never stop learning. You never stop improving and developing yourself. So I say to them, you got to understand this. When you talk about friendship, you got to understand the depths of friendship that we could take this to. My friends must be willing to protect me in my absence. My friends must be willing to give me access to bring correction to their lives. And vice versa. Because when I call you a friend, it means that if you see me doing wrong one day, you have the right to approach me and say, what are you doing in a place that goes against all your principles that you live by?
And I would
true friendship.
Yeah, and I would say there's a lot of friends that would stand up for people, you know what I mean? There's only 2 or 3, 4 max good people that you have come across in your lifetime that will stand with you regardless.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So that's why when I'm developing relationships, I'm watching the character of the person.
Correct. And it takes time to call somebody your friend. You would call anybody your friend.
You can't call anybody your friend. You just can't call anybody your friend. You look for authenticity. I would be sitting here with this interview had I not known you for a while.
Oh, yeah. We've 6 years in the making, I think.
Absolutely.
Long time.
And the difference is this consistency whenever we meet.
Yeah.
It's not I want to get something out of you, nor do I want you to do me favors.
Yeah.
And you're the same.
Correct.
So I'm in it to see your generation improve. And if I do it one person at a time, I'm learning as well.
Yeah, correct.
I was with a group of people in another nation just a couple of weeks ago, and I went into the media department. Like you have a whole bunch of young people in your media department. And they were the kind of people that would glean on every word that I speak for the few days that I was there. So I began to turn the tables around. I started to ask each one questions concerning their generation. And they were very intelligent people. When I say intelligent, it's because they are thinkers.
Wow.
That's the difference. At the end of it, I said to them, I want you to understand why I'm asking you these questions, because your generation don't understand this.
Come on.
I said, I have just spent the last 30 minutes of my time educating me for your generation by asking you questions. I said, what you don't know is I will take your wisdom.
Come on.
I will develop a curriculum, and I will teach my generation on how to approach yours so that you will not feel left out in the progression of life.
It's good.
And they were blown away with that statement. And then they all started to say, well, we want royalties now. But you got to be willing to learn.
Yeah, you have to.
Because I want to be taught.
And you have to take preconceived notions out of your mind before you learn.
Absolutely.
People come to the table thinking they know it all. You can never learn with a closed mind.
Never.
That's I believe that's at any age.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And with any generation.
Absolutely.
And I think the way you raise kids, the way you do life, the way you do family. The world in itself right now is so different compared to what it was 50 years ago. And so I think it's important to cultivate a heart of learning.
Absolutely.
So we've talked a lot about friends. We talked about a lot about, the disciplines, what it is to be real and what it is to be fake. What would you say in these final words like that we have together in terms of destiny is always about destination, right? People live at their best when they're in their operating from their strengths, when they're operating from their assignment and their calling. And there is kind of like a flow state when you get to that place.
Right.
A lot of people are journeying towards that. And I believe when you are in your grace, it's effortless. It's almost like you're effortless when you're working in it, right?
Yep.
What would you say in your final words, how do I discover the grace God has given me so that I can function in my God-given assignment?
What makes you tick?
Yeah.
What makes you happy?
Yeah.
What is it that you could do with a certain amount of ease while you're pursuing greater levels of knowledge in the field?
Yeah.
And as you gain greater levels of knowledge, you must be able to apply that knowledge, because that's where wisdom lies. Wisdom is not in how smart people think you are.
Come on.
Wisdom is having the ability to apply what you know to any given season.
It's good.
When you understand that, you are becoming skilled in the fields that you have been called into. And these are the important factors. Some of the things in your pursuit of destiny is to understand this, is that your reputation is never built in your presence.
Wow.
Your reputation is built in your absence.
It's good.
It's what people say about you in your presence is not as important as what they say about you in your absence. What are you going to say about me when I leave this country?
Yeah.
What in the days to come? Have you gleaned enough from what I carry?
Yeah.
What am I going to say about you? Have I gleaned enough from what you carry? Or do I think that I'm all there is to know about life?
Yeah.
Do I have a sense of pride to think that, I'm the one with the answers when I'm really not? Every day with people reminds me that I am not as smart as my flesh thinks I am.
Come on.
So I bring myself under subjection of the humility that's needed so that I can learn more.
It's good.
So there are times that I think to myself, why do people say you're filled with wisdom when I don't feel that way?
Yeah.
And then I remind myself it's by the grace of God that I answer questions at the level of that person's destiny.
Yeah.
See, this is what it's about. I can't answer you questions at the level that you've already surpassed.
Wow.
That's how you discover whether you have the right relationship you're talking to.
Come on.
The wrong people will never be able to feed the hunger.
Yeah.
Yesterday's hunger is different from today's hunger.
Yeah.
A child, your little baby right now, Zion, his hunger at this point in time will never be the same in a year from now.
Come on.
Because the nourishment that's needed for his body will change.
It's good.
And he's maturing while that's happening. But for as long as you and your wife feed him the same kind of nourishment that his body needs for now, he'll be lacking a lot in a year from now.
Yeah.
But if you keep increasing the level of nourishment, according to his age, according to his growth, you are doing him a major justice in his level of growth. And the same applies to our brain.
Wow.
Many people will die with so much because they've never utilized what they carry for the sake of impacting the lives of others. They'll die with books that they've never written, like Dr. Miles Monroe says.
Yeah.
They will die with destiny burning on the inside of them that they've never explored.
Yeah.
And as a result, the thousands of people that were waiting for them to arrive in their destiny would have never met them because they died with everything on the inside of them.
Wow.
So I think it's important for us to make the generations that we're living with today, the young ones, the teenagers, the young adults, and those transitioning into their 40s, that we should make them very aware that relationship building is important, and you need to sit in seminars and conferences where they teach you about relationships, because all of life is about relationships.
Come on.
God never created man to be independent. He created us to be interdependent. So in everything in life, in business, in church, in organizations, in community, relationships are important.
Wow.
You get into business not because you want to make money, but because you want to build relationships.
Come on, that's good.
That's success. That's a different level of success, a different type.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Look, you could keep on going with the level of content that you have.
Yeah.
But I think we should save it for another day.
Yeah.
You can't give all the gold out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. And we're really grateful that you could be here listening to the content.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.